Let me check my phone.
See if it pops up.
Facebook. Will Morris is live.
Live action.
Events, current what's the deal with Will? With Will Morris.
Will Morris.
Right. All right, we good to go? All right, Tim Bratz just dropped $100,000 on Hex Crypto. Check this out. Let's see, where's he at? There it is, ladies and gentlemen. Tim Bratz just invested $100,000 in Hex today. He's rolling out $100K a month into crypto for the foreseeable future. Now, my question is, what are you investing in? What are you looking for in today's environment with today's, what's going on with real estate, multifamily being inflated. You've got Airbnb, which seem to be having good returns. Stock markets having some pullback right now. What are you investing in? Is it crypto? Are you in short-term rentals? Are you in multifamily? Are you long-term holds? Are you in private equity, looking at growth equity? Are you in venture capital? What are you looking at? Lay it on me. I want to know. Let's see. And by the way, you can comment. We are actually, if you can see, let's see, I guess you'll be seeing this because we're sharing it through social. But this is, we're on Webinar Jam, so we are going to start running these webinars weekly to where if you want to actually come on and register, I'll get those links out to where you can register and come on and actually talk. I want this to be sort of controversial. That's the reason why we kind of called it the, what's the deal with Will show, because I want you guys to be in here to comment, to share, to let's see, can't post comments. I'm just making sure this you got to bear with us on the first go around here. But I want this to be controversial. Like, I want you to get on here and tell me, convince me why you're in short-term rentals. You know what I'm saying? Why did Dan Henry just pay $280,000 or something for a crypto punk, I think is what it was called. Why are you doing that? Let's talk about it. Convince me, and I'm going to convince you why I'm in what I'm in as well, which is I'm still heavy on multifamily, but you've got to find those micro niche areas. I think you got to get outside the limelight of the hedge funds, away from these gateway cities, very tertiary markets. You got to get away, and you got to find the independent owners. If you're looking for institutional owners, people, investment groups that's been owning these assets for a few years, you're beating your head against the wall, because they're going to want a 4 cap for them or sub 4 cap. We are finding deals. We are finding deals in these tertiary markets direct from owners, independent owners, people that's owned them for over 10 years. We are finding this data, skip tracing this data, directly outreaching to them through text message, phone calls, cold calls, email. We're taking those emails and we will actually run them into Facebook campaigns, into an audience, and then we run Facebook campaigns against them, and then we're just hammering them out. We're continuing to we just continue to reach out to them, build rapport. It's not a, hey, you want to sell? No, thank you, gone. We are building rapport with these people. Like, we've got a deal right now that I literally eat lunch with this guy probably 6 times. He's 83. He knows about my family. I know about his family. We've eaten lunch. He's introduced me, and that's went on. He's introduced me to some of his colleagues that are looking to invest, looking to diversify, looking to get out of the public markets, more into private investment funds like we have, into multifamily, mobile home parks, into debt. We're doing some debt offerings right now. So, what are you investing in? Show me.
Well, let's talk about Tim Bratz real quick.
Okay.
I want to know a little bit more, because I was reading a little bit more on him. It's pretty interesting what's going on. So what are the 2 things that you see that are driving the move behind the positioning of moving $100,000 from real estate holdings into crypto? What is that? What do you see behind that?
So basically, why are they pulling out of real estate and going into crypto?
What are some driving factors? Why would you do it? First of all, why would you do it, and then why do you think he's doing it?
Well, first of all, I think crypto right now is very circumstantial, depending on where you're at with your investment portfolio and what you've got going on. So, let's break it down. Tim has done very well. He's done very well for himself. He's accumulated a nice portfolio. It's cash flowing really well. He's just built a really nice portfolio. So let's just call it like it is. This is the controversial show. No more riding on the fence. He's doing well for himself. He's not hurting for money, right? So he can afford to take $100,000 and sort of roll the dice. And if it hits, it hits big. If it don't, you know what? He's not hurting. Same thing with Dan, like Dan Henry. Why did he go into it? Well, let's face it, Dan's done very well for himself. He's done well with the coaching and his marketing and whatnot that he offers. And again, he's in a position to where he could, he could essentially lose the 285. He could go to zero on it and it wouldn't hurt him none. He'd feel it. I'm sure it'd suck. Nobody wants to lose $280,000, but he's not going to, he's not going to go bankrupt over it.
Well, we got $280,000 is quite a bit of money. I will say this. What kind of, you know what? Will hit those three little dots, the little red, because on the live stream you can see your panel, the settings, attendees, chat, polls, and offers.
Mm-hmm.
So click the three dots in the red bar, and then it'll minimize it. That way it won't show anymore.
Oh, that little red one there?
Yeah. See how push it to the right side?
Okay.
Yeah, because on the webinar I can see your whole panel.
Got you. Okay. Because does the comments show up on the stream?
So the comments will show up on Facebook Live. So if anybody has any comments, any questions that you guys have, or if you guys have any deals that you want to throw it this way to evaluate, you can comment now you can comment now on the Facebook Live or on the LinkedIn Live, on the YouTube Live. And then on the next episode, we will only be taking the people that register. So if you register, then we'll take your questions. So for now, since it's the first episode and we're figuring out the new software, we'll allow it. Facebook Live.
I'll tell you what, too. I'll do this. I'll copy. This is the registration. If you want to get on here, if you want to get on stage and speak, I am posting it in the chat now on StreamYard. So this is just, let's see, that went to, but it only shared it on YouTube. I don't know why it's.
Well, for now on Facebook Live, it's looking good. Loud and clear.
Anyway, I did share it.
Brass, $100,000. Now, you were saying something that I wanted to bring up. When you say $280,000 that you can just lose it and not feel it, I want to talk about the risk on this. Is this a typically high risk type of asset? Is this a low risk type of asset? I mean, if somebody's putting in that kind of money, there has to be some kind of risk tolerance to it. And I want to know where it sits. What do you see in that?
Yeah, it's definitely risky. I mean, that's one reason why I love real estate is because, worst case scenario in real estate is if the asset is not producing, cash, if it's not paying its own debt, if it's not covering its own debt service, then you could always sell the asset, right? You could always sell the asset and at least get something back. The difference with this is, I mean, look at Bitcoin, 2017, I think it was, the last big spike before previously. And it's literally, it goes to 50,000 plus 50,000 all the way down to, heck, what was it? I mean, it was back down in the 20s, I think, or something here lately. So, and I'll just be, I'll be transparent. I've got Bitcoin. I've got a bunch of them. I mean, I don't know. I've got a friend of mine out in LA is a crypto hedge fund manager, and he hit me up with some things to be investing in. So I'm invested in probably 20 or better different cryptos. I've even got some EFT top things. I don't fully understand it. So the EFT platforms, I'm in some of those. I'm definitely in some altcoins. and I've done well. I mean, I've gotten good returns, but there again, I did not invest more than what I was willing to lose. Like whenever I invested, and the same thing, I guarantee you, Tim and Dan, both of them are smart enough to know that, they're not investing anything that is more than what they're willing and able to lose. And same thing for me. I invested, but at the same time, it was not any more than I was willing and able to lose. If I invested it and then the next thing it went to zero, yeah, I'd be pissed. But that's the name of the game, I think, right now. And hey, I want to say this too. If you're a crypto guru or what's up and you can tell me, I had a comment here on LinkedIn. It said, Tim's great. Hex, though, I'll have to research that. So he's asking or she's asking about Hex, I guess the crypto that Tim went into. I'm doing my own research on that as well. But, if you know about it, if you know about Hex and you want to, either comment on the whatever platform you're watching it on, or I wonder if I can share it. You know what? I could probably, you can't click it though. Anyway, on YouTube, you can click on it. It'll show up in the chat, the link to actually register the webinar. You come here, you register, we'll bring you on, and then we can see your pretty faces and have a nice conversation, a debate.
We're going to be putting out as soon as this episode ends, we're going to be putting out the links for all the registrations for the future episodes. That way, if you have any questions or deals that you want to have answered or evaluated on the actual webinar, when you come on and join, you will be able to ask and we'll be able to answer you.
I like it.
How would you compare this risk to, for example, let's talk about your specialty. How would you compare this risk of crypto of $100,000, $260,000 capital infusion? How would you relate that to, say, for example, finding a deal and putting in $260,000 into that deal, and the differences between crypto and a real estate holding?
I think the biggest thing is the potential for upside. I really think it's the growth in the market. It's historical as well. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's look at the past 12 months on crypto. I mean, even if it's down, it's still way up. So I think it's early in the stage. A lot of people's trying to ride that wave, trying to get into, trying to catch the wave and just explode off catch the massive upside, I think is really what's happening. Reason why there's so many people looking into that. So you compare that to, say, investing in one of our funds or one of our syndications, a deal or something with real estate or private equity, growth equity. The difference is the yield's not going to be so high. Like, the return on your investment's going to be lower. But at the end of the day, it's all risk versus reward, right? I mean, the more riskier the investment, the higher the reward. It has to be that way. Otherwise, you wouldn't get any investors. So I think that's what is in comparison to kind of what we're doing in a lot of what we do is in real assets. It's fixed assets. You can go take a leak on them if you want to. I mean, I say that jokingly, but that's kind of one of our things is, we invest in stuff that you can go take a leak in. So, or leak on, I guess.
Can I share my screen? Because I have the chart pulled up for Bitcoin.
Well, let me, yeah. Let's see.
Here, I want to see if I can do it. If not, then I'll just switch it up.
Well, while you're doing that, we actually had another comment come in on LinkedIn. It says,
what's the comment?
It says, are you guys into the helium mining? So it's funny you say that, Miguel, because, yeah, we're actually looking at mining some stuff. I mean, we've been running some models on mining, a couple different things. I think, and again, I'm novice on this stuff. I understand. I know enough to probably get me in trouble, but I'm looking at some models on setting up our own little mining operation and looking at, sort of the crypto, the blockchain, the, some of these altcoins. What is it? I think Ethereum might be doing its own thing, or it's working towards doing its own thing, but I think it's still profitable right now. So, Miguel, if I'm not mistaken, I think you're in it pretty hot and heavy, man. If you can comment some more, or maybe we can get you on here one day. I'd love to share what you're doing, because I like what Miguel, like I said, I think if it's the same Miguel I'm thinking of, he's got a pretty cool little deal around crypto mining. and sorry about that, around crypto mining and sort of an all-in-one, and using natural gas to generate the power to mine that, which is pretty cool. There you go. You're
There you
sharing
go.
there.
So this is Bitcoin right now. Look at that, $46,000.
46. Wow. What is that on the up 2,200%? Is that on the year? Is that year on year, or for the year? I guess.
No, up 5%. Let's see.
It's up 20. Oh, 22,000. Sorry, I was looking at that wrong. $22,200.
Yeah. Look.
Sorry,
open at 44,000, closed at 44. So they range 44 to 46.
But see, that's on the day, man. That's 5% today, right? See down there the blue, the 1D. Go to the 1 year. Click on the 1 year. Because I mean, let's face it. Returns are calculated on a yearly basis.
There you go. 1 year.
It didn't change it though, did it?
Well, let's do 5 year. Let's look at the history of it. Look at this.
Yeah, and see, I think that's where a lot of people are trying to catch. A lot of people are trying to catch that wave again. But here, let's get down to the real facts here. Like, why are we having this conversation, though? We're having this conversation because real estate is expensive. You know what I'm saying? I think everybody wants to be in real estate. Not everybody, but everybody likes to be diversified in real estate, right? It's fixed, it's real, it's a real asset. But at the same time, where do you go when real estate's super expensive? Like when it's a frothy market, where do you go? And I think that's the reason why you're getting, Bitcoin coming around, or cryptos in general coming around. Like we're looking at we've got a growth equity deal, which is going to be like 27% cash on cash return. It is insane. And what growth equity is, if anybody don't know what growth equity is, it's basically, we have found a franchisee owner that already has like 40 locations. The parent company's already made him an LOI if he can hit 60 locations, and it's a pretty sizable sort of sell off, I guess. And we're looking at bringing the equity to build those other 20 units or other 20 locations. And as soon as we get those built, then we're going to execute. They'll be able to execute on that LOI and sell this thing. And so we've negotiated like, hey, we'll raise, $10 million and we'll use that for equity to build these 20 units or 20 locations. And, we're going to get, our investors, we're going to get them, a nice 8 to 10% return. We're getting a piece of the equity for, on the disposition. And so it's just phenomenal. It's an absolute phenomenal investment that I don't hear anybody really talking about it. It seems like it's either real estate or Bitcoin, and I don't know if it's just because those two items are like the two hot items on the shelf. Real estate's really expensive. Bitcoin, who knows what the hell's going on, or crypto, who the hell knows what's going on? You know what I mean? And so, but there's other things out there. Mobile home parks, we've been hearing a little bit about that. They're still, we've got one under contract now. We've got a portfolio. We've got a portfolio of like 9 properties that is just going to be amazing. This thing's like 17%. Is it a 7? I think it's a 17% cash on cash, and like or maybe it's a 17%. Oh Lord, I'm getting them mixed up. One or the other. It's like 12% cap rate on acquisition and like a 17% cash on cash. Regardless, it's like 9 different properties scattered out in 4 or 5 different states, totaling 400 or 500 units. I mean, $11 million acquisition. This thing is a home run, right? Why are we looking at that? Home run. Why are we looking at that? We're looking at it because multifamily's like sub 4 caps right now on acquisitions, unless you can find those mom and pop owners. That's where it's at. So
when you were talking about Bitcoin, Will, look at something that I just found. This is I want to see what you think about this, what our viewers think about this. So El Salvador becomes the first country to adopt Bitcoin as a national currency.
I did see that. I heard.
For all those people that were skeptical, I mean, look, Bitcoin, if you really look at it, September 15th, on 2014, it was at $363.
I'm nervous for them though. I mean, you think about it, like they may be, they may be putting themselves in a, sorry about that. They may be hurting themselves because if they're the early adopters of the crypto, the currency or whatever, Bitcoin, then, how are they going to transact with other countries and other people that, what if everybody they go talk to them, they're like, banks and buying, buying corn or mashed, potatoes or something. I don't know. How are they going to say, hey, farmer in Idaho, I want to pay you in 7 Bitcoin. And he's like, I don't do that. I deal with Benjamin Franklin's, you know what I mean? Like what happens when you're those early adapters? Like somebody's got to be first, right? But at the same time, as a whole country jumping in, I was watching
one of the videos on YouTube, and it was the people talking about Bitcoin. They're like, "How are we gonna pay for it when we don't even have bank accounts? How are we gonna use? Some of us don't even have phones yet."
Well, that's another thing too. If I'm not mistaken,
they have Bitcoin ATMs that don't work. Imagine that. Like they'll be showing up at the Bitcoin ATM. They try to take out their money. Like, sorry, we can't figure it out. So they're essentially cash locked. It's interesting to see the development of this. But like I was pointing out, 2014, this was at 363. 2021, it's at $44,000. I mean, the growth is immeasurable.
There's massive growth there, but there's also massive drop too. I mean, look at what it did just this year. It went from what, $57,000, $60,000, something like that, down to like 30. I mean, I know my shit dropped. I can say that. So, I don't know, man. It's
here, the drop was right here. It was May 21st. It was at 56, and then it dropped to 35.
Yeah.
That's a big one.
Yeah.
What is that? 56,
so that's what I'm saying. 35? Like how?
Yeah, 21.
How many times is it going to do that? Was that a rug pull? Was this is my thing? Was that a rug pull where they let it go up and a bunch of big boys pulled it out and took the profits, or is that the natural growth of the market? So, we're talking about crypto, but again, I want to keep going back to, this is in a bigger picture. We're talking about investing. Why are we talking about these alternative investments? And I think it's because real estate's expensive. Stock market's going, what is it? Pull up today. What's it doing today? I've got it here on the TV. I could pull up.
Here, go ahead and pull it up because my computer is kind of slow real quick.
I've got it on the TV. But anyway, I mean, like the stock market's going wonky, and nobody knows what the heck's going on with the, with Big Brother there. So, I mean, what do you see? We got another viewer here. Tell me what you guys are investing in. Let's hear about it. I want to know, what are you investing in? What are you guys working on? Are you investing at all? Maybe that's the question. Is everybody just sitting on cash right now? Everybody got the dry powder. Yeah, got the dry powder just waiting to deploy. Are you guys waiting on the big drop? That's another question.
What are you invested in right now?
Real estate, growth equity, businesses. I love investing in businesses. Being an entrepreneur, having my own businesses, growing them, starting them, growing them, exiting them. I love business. But to me, a good profitable business with a good manager in place is one of the most profitable assets you can have, I think. I like getting in. I like the e-com space. I'm really liking the e-com, the digital markets with like even the coaching and stuff like that. I mean, I would like to own a bunch of brands that do the education and stuff like that, because I mean, that market's supposed to be what, 370 something billion in the next couple of years. I mean, it is amazing. Look here, Miguel. So Miguel said he's in Dogecoin and fix and flips. Fix and flips are good right now. It's a seller's market, man. If you can buy them low, fix them up and sell them. He says he has 2 coffee shops and run my parents' bakery. There you go. See, there's nothing wrong with a good, profitable business. I mean, let's talk about this for just a second. Talking about businesses and private equity and whatnot. Steve Schwartzman, the co-founder of Blackstone. He got started in a big old long career, but I mean, when he started Blackstone, it's in private equity. Like, they were going out and finding profitable businesses and investing in them, buying them, whatever, and growing them on out. He didn't get into real estate until 2017. And then even at that, he hired a guy that was a real estate guy that grew that he was the one that grew that market, if I'm not mistaken, grew that aspect of his business. He was in buying businesses. He'd go out and he'd raise capital and he would buy businesses. And a lot of people you don't hear a lot about him. I hear more now, I think, because he's kind of going through this like older person, like philanthropy type of stage or whatever. And I know he's got a college and he's done some heavy stuff over in China, but
there's Blackstone so people can see.
I think he's I don't think he gets enough credit for what he did. And let's just look at the numbers. Like, he literally, what he makes in a year, he could pay cash for 9/10 of the gurus out there. You know what I mean? Like let's just call it like it is. I think the man pay himself like $700 million a year or something, 750. Is that right? I swear I heard that somewhere. But if you can pay yourself $700 million a year, I mean, you could buy 9/10 of the gurus out there, for their net worth or whatever. And so that, I mean, look, that's the things. Like, if you can find these good, and here's another reason why I like it too, is because, again, let's go back to like inventory. There's demand out there. There's the biggest demographic of small business owners, small business meaning under 500 employees, is baby boomers. Well, baby boomers are in, and they're in and already in and approaching very quickly retirement. They're looking at getting, moving on to the next phase of their life. They are they went through a couple recessions. Typically they've built these businesses up over the past 10, 20, 30 years. They've already been through a couple of downturns or whatever, the recession, 08, and then a couple of downturns, and then COVID hits, right? Well, number one, economy was doing well, business was doing well. Most of them that I spoke to, their businesses was doing really well. They were mentally planning retirement. They were literally planning within the next 3 to 5 years, they were looking at exiting their business, selling it, doing whatever. They didn't even cross that bridge yet. They were already looking at retirement. They didn't even really think about how that was going to play out. They just knew that they were wanting to reach retirement, right? And then COVID hit, and then 2 to 5 year plans become a 5 to 7 year plan. To time to rebuild, to get back to where they were, sort of pre-COVID. And that's not every business. I know some businesses that actually have excelled during COVID, but it's still taking a toll on them, just the mental capacity. But then on top of that, so now they're at the ones I talk to, they say, you know what? We just don't have it in us anymore. We don't have it in us to go another 5 to 7 years in this. Our children are off doing their careers because we told them to, go to school, get a degree, become a doctor, lawyer, attorney, this, that. Maybe they're running their own business, they're doing their own thing, and they just don't. They just don't want it, or they don't want their business, or they're not in capacity to be able to take it, and so they're left with the simple decision: do we sell it or do we just shut it down? Right? Well, they hate to see the thing that they worked for the past 20, 30 years to be shut down and just nothing. And so these are the people I'm reaching out to, and these are people I'm having conversations with, and I say, hey, look. Let's structure a win-win situation. Let's structure something to where I can take over this business. I can continue to grow it. I can keep your employees. We can take this thing for another, hand the baton off. Let's take, give it to me. Let me take it for another 20 years down the road. And we can make this business continue growing and being more profitable. And that's exactly what we're seeing. And so I love that, as long as they meet a few key things. Like I said, it either has to have enough profit in it to be able to implement a manager, because we're not, there for the day to day. We're owning these things. We're overseeing it. We're implementing marketing plans. We're implementing, growth type of strategies, overseeing it. We're not really in the day to day. And so we kind of, in that sense, we kind of treat it like real estate, like the real estate that we're buying. We're not there managing the day to day. We're getting third party management to come in and take those and just implement the strategies that we're pumping into it, and the systems that we know that works, right? Automation, integrations. I mean, there's an API can do a lot of stuff, right? And so I think that's what a long-winded answer, I guess, of some of the things that I'm looking at, that I'm invested in. Anybody else seeing any of that stuff? Make sure I'm not crazy.
Look at this. So from the Wall Street Journal, July 2nd, 2021, look at what they said. The greatest wealth transfer in modern history has begun. Baby boomers and older Americans have spent decades accumulating an enormous stockpile of money. At the end of this year's first quarter, Americans aged 70 and above had a net worth of nearly 35 trillion, with the T, trillion, according to the Federal Reserve data. So that money is being, guess what? Transferred. This is the transfer of wealth that Will's talking about. $35 trillion is going to move money. It's going to move hands.
I mean, and we're not just seeing this in business too. Like I said, all right, one of the deals we got right now, like I said, 83-year-old man, independent owner. He built the building in 1986, ran his own business out of it, and then leased it out in 2001. The tenant's been there ever since, right? Another one, multifamily. The guy's owned it for 20-something years. He's 73. He lives here, and he lives also in another state, but he's ready to finally, he's done. He's washing his hands. He's ready to move on. And he's not necessarily interested. Neither one of these guys are necessarily interested in the liquidity. Another one down in Texas, mobile home park. We got under contract down there. Again, the guy's, I think he's in his late 60s, early 70s. And he's looking to move on to the next best thing. The one we had under contract in Franklin, he was an older gentleman, late 60s, early 70s. He was looking to get out of what he was in and trying to move in. I think he wanted to go into storage is what he's wanting to do. But the bottom line is that they were looking to move. You know what I'm saying? They were looking to move into new things. And so these are independent, elderly individuals that are looking, that own these assets or partners in the assets, and they are looking to move on. And like I said, none of these people were really interested, other than a couple of them were interested in the liquidity aspect of it. They wanted enough to, live comfortable, pay anything off, whatever. But a little hint, a little tip, just the tip Tuesday is, I'm actually hitting them again for investing. And I'm saying, look, you're getting $5 million. We're paying you $5 million for this building or for this asset, whatever. Do you need all that right now? I said, well, no, not really. I said, well, you're going to get hit with capital gain, possibly get hit with capital gains and all this other stuff. And I said, would you be interested in looking at some of our other deals to where, maybe we could get that to you and then roll that over into one of our deals. And that way you're continuing to build wealth. You're going to have income, because when you sell this asset, you're not getting any more income unless they have other assets. And they're like, yeah, well, definitely, we'll be happy to take a look at your other deals. That would be great. So it's an interesting time. I will say that.
What are the biggest things that you? Well, actually, let me rephrase this question. For the people that are already exiting, right? Who are leaving investments onto the hands of other people, who are moving their assets to different positions. When somebody is exiting an investment, what's typically the thing that you advise them? For example, the 83-year-old man that was selling you this property. What were some of the things that you knew for a fact needed to be done for him because of the position that he's in?
The first thing I talk to him about is their potential tax obligation. I talk to him about, I truly try to help them. You know what I mean? Like, do you need all this capital? You know, are you looking for, I mean, are you wanting to take this and go to Vegas? Like, what's your plans for this? You know, and I rarely ever get told to mind my own business or anything like that. And I just say, look, I care about you. I really do. Cause like I said, you're building rapport with these people. And I say, look, I care about you. I don't want to see you take this and then turn around and get hit with, tax obligations or, something that could have been avoided or, say you sell this asset, like this is in 2 instances, sell this asset and you lose your source of income. Yeah, you got a chunk of money, but you have no source of income. So, what are you doing from an income standpoint? Do you want me to help you grow this? Do you want me to help you with 1031s? Do you need help with, say you're wanting to hand this down to their kids? Like maybe, would you be interested in looking at like a dynasty trust or something? I don't know. Just I try to find out more about, I call it like service after the sale. You know what I'm saying? Like, what are you doing with your money? What's your plans for it? What's your plans? And honestly, I'm just outright curious too. If you get a $5 million check today, what are you going to do with it? And so, I the big one's tax though. I really try to help them with tax obligations or 1031s, trying to, and we don't do that. I know the people that do, and I'm happy to make those introductions and say, hey, call this guy or I'll have so-and-so reach out to you.
To put it in perspective, because people need perspective. What does it look like when you don't take care of the tax obligations correctly, as opposed to when you actually do it the right way and you do things in a way where it saves you a lot of money?
Yeah, well, that's basically sums it up. You could potentially save a lot of money or at least defer a lot of tax obligation. But the difference is, if you get taxed when you take possession. And so if I hand you a check, $5 million, guess what? You're paying tax on $5 million. If you get the proceeds of $5 million and you take 1 million to pay off debt or do whatever you want to, then yeah, you're going to get hit with tax on that. But then the other 4 million, say you roll it in, do a 1031, you roll it into one of our funds, or one of our investments, then you can defer that. You can 1031 is a tax deferral. So you just kind of kick it down the road. And then there's other things that you can do. Your CPA can tell you about if they're smart enough. But, that's the difference. I mean, you're talking about, say 1 million versus 5 million. It's what's capital gains? 37%. I mean, so you're talking about, what is that? Is it 37%? I think it's 37%.
Let's find out.
Anyway, it's a hell of a difference. I know that. So maybe 30. I think it's 37% is what it is.
Here, I'm typing in capital gains tax 2021. Right.
Share your screen there.
So here, I'll show my screen. Let me just pull it up. Okay, here. Share. There it is. So, capital gains. 2020, the capital gains tax, 0, 10, 15. Oh, where does it say it?
Down at the bottom, 10, 12, 22, 24, 32, 35, or 37. In 2020, the capital gains tax rates are 0, 15, or 20% of most assets. More than a year. So there's 20. Oh, so less than.
Oh, these are the tax brackets.
Okay, so it'd be 20% for anything held over more than a year. And it's as high for the tax brackets. Anyway, so let's just say 20% because these guys are. I mean,
well,
so
20% of $1 million is $200,000.
Yeah. So what's 20% of $5 million? I mean,
$1 million.
Yeah, there you go. So that's the difference. $800,000.
Ooh. Well, what would you do with an extra $800,000? Well, how many crypto punks would you buy with $800,000?
I wouldn't buy the first one, man. I'd take $800,000 and I'd dump it into a cash producing asset. I'd turn $800,000 into what? 2.4 million. So
this. Who bought the crypto punk?
Dan Henry bought a crypto punk.
What is crypto punk?
I have no idea. I think it's like an NFT. Who's in it? NFTs? There's another thing. Anybody else dabbling in NFTs? It's listed on here. And NFT stands for what? Non-fungible token. It's the craziest thing I've ever seen. Like literally, I seen a post today. I think it was today, this morning, and it was literally there it is. Yeah, that thing right there, and it's like a hand drawing, and that thing increased what, $9,000 in like 90 minutes or something. I swear, I think that's a hand drawing. Like my 8-year-old literally can draw better than that. Like I'm gonna get her into some NFT hand drawing contest. I'm gonna take my 5-year-old and let him start spelling his name. That'll be an NFT. It looks all wonky. There's Gary V. Gary V's big on the NFTs, ain't he? I can't hear you, Diego. Are you talking?
Oh, all right, there you go. You hear now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
It is wild what an NFT is doing right now in the market. It is. I mean, but they're doing a lot of creative things as well. For example, there's one that they'll have the drawing and they'll put it in a portable TV and encase it, and there's only one in the world, so you can't replicate it. So it's like having a little art in your TV.
Yeah, like Mark Cuban, didn't he? He's big. Ain't he buying some art, NFT arts or something like that?
That's right. Let's look it up. Mark Cuban.
Anybody watching? Are you guys buying NFTs? Do you know anybody buying NFTs? Like, I'm almost concerned that it's like again, I'm just gonna say it like it is, because this is the thing. I want this to be controversial. I want this to be real. It almost sounds like a rich man's game. Like, is this just another thing for, somebody with more money than they know what to do with to
there it is. Billionaire Mark Cuban is building a digital art gallery for NFTs.
Like, I really need to know about this, because if it's true what Dan posted there about that one rabbit, kangaroo looking thing, I mean, that thing
2021.
That thing increased like $8,000 in value in 90 minutes.
90 minutes.
90 minutes. An hour and a half, it increased $8,000 in value.
So there it is. Billionaire entrepreneur Mark Cuban is building a new online gallery to display non-fungible tokens, NFTs, in any form, he told the blog. The platform will allow users to display their digital art and collectibles in one place, as well as share the collection on social media platforms. So he wants to essentially make an online gallery for everybody to just trade NFTs and show off what you got.
Yeah, but I mean, is that real? You know what I'm saying? Like, is this an outcome of like working at home? You know what I mean? And not having enough stuff to do. I mean, I don't. I'm serious. I'm being serious right now. Like, what's the motive behind this? What is NFTs and how is it a real thing? Anybody watching this, comment if you think it's a real thing. Like, you think it's going to be. I mean, are we going to be sitting around looking at like digital kangaroos,
have you seen Gary V's VeeFriends?
Yeah.
If you're asking like how serious is it? I mean, pretty darn serious for him to do this.
Let's look at let's look at the fact that who's all dabbling with digital NFTs, all this stuff, whatever. It's deca millionaires and billionaires, right?
All right.
Anybody that's bought an NFT?
Amp AA for $161,000.
What? Let me see that. Let me zoom in here.
Lava Amped AA. This token is viable.
Did he draw that?
He drew this, and it's worth $161,000 right now.
Bullshit. Man, I'm gonna load my damn kids up with some art pencils and construction paper. We're going artsy here. I mean, this is crazy.
I mean, look, $50,000 for the genuine giraffe. Will
click on that thing.
The genuine giraffe. There you go. There it is. Look at that in all its glory and prime.
I mean, I don't know, man. This is crazy. Who would? All right, comment if you would pay $50,000 for that giraffe.
Oh my God, you're kidding me! $269,000 for the swaggy sea lion.
Where?
The swaggy sea lion.
I gotta give credit. At least the name is cool. I'll give you credit. The name is catchy. But let's be real, guys. How much? 280 grand? Is this something somebody's bought, or is this what's for sale?
No, it's sells, man. These are the souls, man.
Those are the sods. Somebody paid Gary V 280 grand for that seal.
Gary's originally owned.
What does that mean? Originally owned, not created?
The wise wasp. This token is collectible.
How, he don't even have wings. So I mean, like, that's what is he?
He doesn't even have wings. That's right. But
not very wise. Seems like his handicap wasp.
I mean, there's a video. The original. Look. Each collectible was originally hand drawn by Gary V. The main ambition of this project is to create meaningful intellectual property and create an extraordinary community. All tokens are a 3-year admission token to VCon, annual super conference. We know a lot of you are new to the NFT world, so before you do anything, get acquainted with the FAQs.
So see, there's another thing. Everybody's selling this stuff. They all have events or something that they tie to it. It seems like I'm starting to see a trend here. Like,
there's your answer to your question. Who started this? Why NFTs? Much like 1995 and 2005, when Gary saw a macro trend with the internet and then Web 2.0, he knew the only way he was going to understand NFTs was to actually be a part of it. Gary believes the NFTs will be part of it for the rest of his life, but it doesn't say what it is. What is an NFT?
Nobody knows. I think they want it that way. NFT is like here's the things, like, he drew that, but you get the digital copy. Is that right? Do you get the original copy as well?
I guess you get the digital main.
But I would like to have, I would be more interested in that physical copy that he actually drew on. You know what I'm saying? Like, the digital would be cool to put, like, on the back of your phone or something, like a wallpaper. But what about
25 Ethereum? That is wild, man. That this is actually a real thing.
But and it's actually growing. Like, I mean, it's starting to take trend, and I'm just curious to see if this is another, I'm gonna call it like it is, another gimmick by the another gimmick to try to sell stuff to make money, like what it was, digital courses 2.0. You know what I mean? Is that what this is? Is it another way to monetize digital?
Oh my goodness! Look what I just saw. Here you go, man. Here you
go. Comment. Tell me what you guys think. I want to know. I want some controversy. I wish some of you guys would come on here.
I officially own a CryptoPunk. 268,000.
That's what I was talking about. That's Dan.
There it is.
Yeah. I don't even know what that is.
It is a pixelated face that is worth a house, a mortgage, or Audi, an Audi R8 maybe, or Q4.
Look here, I'm gonna
$268,000 for an NFT. There it is.
It's not posted on.
This shows it.
I wish it would post on. For some reason, it ain't posting in LinkedIn. You know what though? I wonder if I can go to LinkedIn and go to the live. I'm gonna post a link here to where you can. It'll be direct access. I want them to just come on with it. I want to get some people's opinions on this. I really do. I might have to mute.
I think that one of the people that was answering a comment, he said he was in a crypto, wasn't he? Or he was both in real estate and he was also into some kind of.
No, what did he say? He said it's right here. He said he was Dogecoin and fix and flips. Yeah,
there you go. Yeah. Dogecoin. Yeah. So let's look at Dogecoin.
I've got quite a bit of Dogecoin too, but like I said, again, I didn't invest more than I could stand to lose, I guess would be the way to say it. Why is this not letting me comment? Oh, there it is. Here. Boom. Go to this link. Now. Click on that and join up. I want to get some people involved in this. If you're still watching this, click here, get on here. I want to see. You don't have to share your face if you don't want to, but I want to see. Yeah, I want to see what your opinions are. I want to talk to you. I want to get some more controversy going, or conversation, I guess be way going. Oh, I've got another one for you guys. Who wants to talk about like true zero money down deals? Large true zero money down real estate deals. Because tax credit, bond deals, your 4%, 9% tax credit bond deals, true zero money down. Now, it takes a little bit of money, but all that money comes back to you. So you really got to find somebody that's a sort of a financial backer. It's more of putting a team together, putting that team together to be able to do those type of deals. And if you can get that team, sort of orchestrated, if you could be the orchestrator of that and get that put together, then you could go out here and make some money on these tax credit deals. I've got one right now that's a 364 unit, 9-property portfolio that we're pursuing. And this thing, the preliminary numbers right now, this thing has $9.5 million in developer fees. And so it's a little different in the form. When you hear developer, you're thinking developer like you're building it. Well, this one's already existing, but even if you are actually building the property, the asset, in tax credit as a developer, you are a developer because you are you're developing the credits. So that's why you're called a developer. They have a syndicator in tax credit deals as well, but the syndicator is in the business of syndicating those credits to somebody to buy them. So they'll buy them at 90 cents on the dollar and they sell them for 93 cents on the dollar or something like that. They make an arbitrage. And so as a developer in tax credit deals, subsidized, affordable housing, whatever you want to call them, you can't raise the rents like you can in market rate or conventional multifamily, right? You can't go in there and buy it, fix it up, and raise the rents $200 a piece or what, a month. You can't do that because the government, they're on fixed, right? It subsidizes fixed income or fixed rent. So what, if you pull out the value add, if you pull out that component of multifamily, then what's the purpose of even doing the deal, right? And so the government creates these tax credit deals, these bond deals, these programs, in order to incentivize the investors to go in and do these type of deals in order to create this affordable housing. So that's kind of the backbone of it. Well, as a developer, you can't raise the rents and there's not a lot of cash flow throughout it. So what they do is they basically give you this developer fee. And so in this particular deal, because it's so large and so big and 5 counties and this thing is it's called a roll up, where we're actually going out and we're rolling up these properties, and it's a $9.5 million developer fee, which of course that's split up 2 or 3 different ways. But at the heart of it, it's $9.5 million to basically go out and pick up this asset. And so not a bad little deal right now. The government seems to be paying well. They seem to be cutting checks. So let me ask your thoughts on that. Section 8, subsidized housing. Are you guys looking at that? Anybody? Nobody?
What state are you doing this in?
Tennessee. This is all right here in East Tennessee.
All in East Tennessee. And is this something that investors can do all over the United States?
Every state has their own program, their own soup of against, I guess would be the way to say it. Like but yeah, every state has subsidized and affordable housing programs, 4%.
And what kind of risk tolerance do you need to have for this?
This particular one, like I said, it's more about building a team from a sponsor standpoint, and a sponsor meaning that you're sponsoring the deal, you're the one putting it together. It's really more of a, it does take a little bit of time. There's a lot of hard deadlines. You've got to front, like our deal, I think we're going to be somewhere around 800,000 is what we'll have in it before we actually, get the deal done. So it's one of them deals. It's a type of I hate to keep saying deal, but it's a type of thing to where it's like building a house. You don't start a house and not finish it because you'll never technically live in it. You know what I'm saying? If it don't have a roof. So this is something that if you get into it, you've got to get the team together. You got to get, pursue the deal, whether you're developing or doing a, adaptive reuse, or if you're trying to, renew one on the program. You start it, you got to finish it, because that's the risk. The biggest risk is if you just don't finish it, because you will lose. You could potentially lose your $400,000 to $500,000 that you would have in it. So,
yeah. No, that's definitely gonna be a risk that somebody's gonna take. And the reward, what does that look like?
Well, put it this way. Let's just compare it for a second. Well, the reward's $9.5 million, and owning 365 unit portfolio. You know what I mean? In this case, so let's just take comparison, like $265,000 for a cyberpunk. You take that and put it. I would rather roll the dice. I'd rather roll the dice.
So look, that Henry tells you, "Hey, Will, what's going on, man? How you doing? Hey, you know what? I just sold my CryptoPunk. I didn't want it anymore. I got $268,000 in cash. I'm liquid, and I'm looking to put it somewhere." What would you tell him?
I mean, I still love real estate. I mean, so obviously,
and he was specific, and he's like, "And I want to do in real estate because I want to be."
I was about to say. So the first thing I do is I ask more questions. What's your return expectation? What would you like to get? What's your risk tolerance? And if he says, you know what, I want to be safe, I would take a safe 6% as I would a risky 10 or something, then I'd say, okay, well, let's look at maybe some private lending or some debt, debt options. If it comes, you know what I'm saying? So I want to learn more about what's your investment horizon, how long you want to be in there, 3 years, 5 years, 10 year, what do you consider a long term? What do you consider a long-term investment? What do you, what do you look at from are you interested in liquidity versus non-liquidity? Meaning, do you want to go into an investment to where you have an option to be able to sell your shares, or, are you okay with going into an investment that is non-liquid? I mean, once you're in, it's in, and you're locked up. So there's a lot of questions that have to be drawn out, I guess, through that process. It's really hard just somebody says, hey, I got 260 grand. What should I put it in? So, well, you put it in all kinds of shit. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, but the thing is, what should you put it in that fits your investment? Because the worst thing you do, I can say the worst thing, because the worst thing you do is lose your money. But a bad situation is when you're invested in something that you're not happy with and you don't like, and you kind of, it creates tension between the sponsors and the investment. And, and that's another thing, is how active, Dan Henry might be more of an active investor. He might say, you know what, I want to make decisions. I want to be involved in this stuff. And then I'd say, okay, well, bring your 260 and maybe let's talk about like co-sponsoring a deal or something. You know what I mean? Like there's several questions you have to expand on in order to make that proper judgment. But I would definitely be looking. I'd still be looking at number one thing I look at is cash flow. I like investing in stuff that pays next month. I just think from an investment standpoint, it makes things a lot better. So cash flow is big for me, and then and then obviously real estate, and third, probably private equity in some manner. But all of them still, like I said, around the emphasis of cash flow. You've got to have cash flow.
And who loves cash flow? Freddie Mac. Look, this is Freddie Mac's website, the Apartment Investment Market Index. So take a look at the National AIMI. Look at the annual change and increase. Keeps going up.
Yeah.
It keeps going. I mean, the charts do not lie. So this is the moving day average, index 37. So look, 2012, we were at 136. And now we're at 243. 90. I mean, in 6 years, we've been growing at a 2.6 annual change, and it's a 9.8% change from the average. that tells you that multifamily is here to stay. And if anything, it's more needed now than ever.
Oh
Especially
yeah,
since all the
there's like
mandates.
3 million. I think it's like 3 million unit shortage in the country right now. I mean, it's a massive shortage of affordable housing, and I hate to say affordable, workforce housing. So workforce is your your policemen, your firemen, your nurses. I mean, teachers. Workforce housing is huge shortage, and the gap is bridging. You know what I'm saying? Like we're even seeing it here. I'm seeing it all over the place. You're getting homes are going through the roof. I mean, hell, could you imagine being right out of college right now and having college debt? Say you're married or shortly after college or something like that, and you're looking at buying a house, and you're going to have $325,000 to buy your first home. I mean, my first home was $108,000. You know what I mean? And I barely qualified for it. So
my first home was $113,000, and I got it with the skin of my teeth.
I'm telling you that I literally had to beg, steal, and borrow to get mine. So,
and now
and I was married.
$300,000 for a starter home.
I was married, and so it was 2 incomes on that too. You know what I mean? So it's just crazy times right now, man.
Before we end off, let's give people some realistic expectations of what they need to do to start prepping themselves up for what's coming up next. Because we know inflation is, I mean, it's hitting us now. I see it everywhere. Food, oil, gas, everything is more expensive now, and it's getting more expensive now. And everything is increasing because of the expense. And guess what? They're not paying you more.
Yeah.
What would you say to somebody to start prepping them up? Especially when it comes to what to do with their money when they have a good amount of it. Because the worst thing to do, is you have money and then you blow it and then it's gone.
I don't want to beat a dead horse, but again, to me, it goes back to cash flow. I don't care if you go to, you don't have to. When I used to hear cash flow, I used to think 250 unit multifamily. I used to hear cash flow. I would think, a $10 million business, right? But the reality is, you don't have to have those. But I would think about cash flow. I would think about, look at e-commerce. I know some guys that are doing phenomenal in e-commerce, and e-commerce don't mean that you're going to be driving the next best Lamborghini on Instagram. That means you're making $372 a month passively from a store. You know what I mean? Like so you do that once, that's $370. Like not much a month, right? But it's something coming in passively. And that's the thing. The mindset needs to be cash flow, automated cash flow. You know what I mean? Like you need to be, go out here to your local Google laundromats near me and find a laundromat that's owned by somebody that's older than 70. Introduce yourself to them and say, hey, I'm looking to get into, a business. Would you be interested in selling yours? Yeah, possibly, It's okay. Well, I'll just shoot you straight, old timer. I don't have, the equity to put down, but what I can do is I can clean these things. I can do this. I can do that. You can do some sweat equity and say, would you be interested in seller carrying this or seller financing this deal for me? Next thing you know, you've got a seller finance property that he's still getting income off of, but he don't have to manage anymore. He don't have to go out there and deal with it and deal with the people and all that stuff, but yet he's still getting cash flow because you're paying him every month instead of paying the bank, you're just paying him. Plus he's getting interest, so he's actually making more, and you're making $1,211 a month. So now you got a store making $376. You got a laundromat that's making $1,188 a month. Now you're up to $1,500 a month. Great. Guess what? Do it again. Next thing you know, very quickly, very shortly, you'll be up to $5,000, $7,000, $10,000 a month. And the reason why I say that is because I don't care if you're a financial a private wealth advisor and you make $250,000 a year. You should still be doing this because you have assets that offset the inflation. You see what I'm saying? Like laundromat, price of detergent goes up, power bill goes up, guess what? It costs you 75 cents instead of 50 cents now. Guess what? It's $1. It's $1.25 a load. Like when you have rents, why is multifamily and mobile home parks, stuff like that, a good hedge against inflation? Is because they ebb and flow with inflation. As inflation goes up, so does rents. Inflation comes down, which I doubt rents will probably ever come down, but as rents come down, or theoretically, as inflation comes down, rents come down. It ebbs and flows. Same thing, cash flowing assets can ebb and flow with inflation and prices and war and $3 trillion being thrown into the economy. Like, I mean, it can ebb and flow with it. So that's my advice for anybody that's looking for, that's anybody looking for protection against future at any stage and all stages. You need to be acquiring cash flowing assets, automated cash flowing assets. Long-winded answer.
That was a golden nugget for those of you who pieced it together and who extracted that gold information out of it. I mean, that's essentially how you stack and compound your raises to keep giving yourself a raise and get yourself to that mass accumulation of money at the end of the month, instead of just having to deal with the spare change. That's hard work, that's determination, that's discipline, that's savviness, that's being resourcefulness. However, that is a solution. Like what Will just said is a solution. That's how these people are making money. With that being said and done, Will, we did it, man. That was awesome. We talked through a lot of stuff. We went through a lot of stuff. We covered a lot of topics, and I gotta say, those questions that those people answered or they asked on LinkedIn.
Yeah, I want to say thank you to Miguel and to one of them didn't show up. It just said LinkedIn user, but still LinkedIn, Mr. or Mrs. LinkedIn user. Thank you, Miguel. Thank you for commenting, and I'd love to have you on here, and anybody else. Like I said, I want this to be an open format. I want this to be a place for us to discuss openly. I don't care if you're left, right, conservative, liberal, black, blue, green, whatever. Like, at the end of the day, let's talk and learn from each other and from, the current situation, the current deal. If you've got a deal, put it on here. If you're looking for investors, you're looking for equity, you're looking for debt. If I can help you out, I'll be happy to. Vice versa, I'm going to be putting my deals on here. I've got 5 or 7 deals right now under contract, or just outside of contract under negotiation. So, I'm looking for equity. If you're watching this, if you like what you've seen, go to blueauragroup.com. I'm going to type it in here. This is my investment firm. I think I posted that. Go to blueauragroup.com, check it out, register for the investor portal. That's where you can kind of keep track of any of our offerings. You can view them, you can learn about them, keep track of upcoming stuff. We will not blow you up with a bunch of information and stuff like that. But if we do have something new, if you elect it, then we'll be happy to share that with you. But thank you guys for watching. This is number 1. We're going to try to do this, Diego, every Tuesday at 12?
Every Tuesday at 12 Eastern Standard Time. Tune in. We will be going live. And remember, if you want to ask questions and get them answered, get on the show, register for the webinar so we can put you onto the main platform.
Yep, definitely. We that's something, Diego, too. We need to figure out how, so I can post. I guess here's the thing too, because we have let's see if it shows it here. Remember, under the files, we actually have the template, the doc template that I was going to give away. Remember that?
Oh yes.
And here's the slides on it. I don't know if it's going to show or not, but I mean, this is is that showing up? Do you see that? Yeah, I'm seeing it. Okay. So like this is one of our templates that I was going to give away for anybody that may have a deal that is looking to put a deal together. So the thing is, though, these files, I can't share them unless you register. So if you want any of the files, if you want to speak, if you want to come up on stage, you want to speak, you want to conversate, you want to be controversial with us. If you want any of the downloadables, if you want any of the free stuff, you're going to have to register, because I can only share that through Webinar Jam, which is who we're doing our webinar through. The social sharing is really just for, I guess, engagement and reach. So I encourage you, if you're watching this next time, I guess in the description right off the bat, we need to put that as like the top, Diego, like put in there the link or something like that.
Link.
Yeah, register here for free downloads and to be and to, to be on stage or something, to speak on stage. And
yeah. It's like you're going on the Oprah Winfrey show. You're in the studio. You're going to get the free car.
Everybody reach under your seat right now. Boy, they freak out. They freak out with it. Reach under your seat, wherever you're sitting right now. Reach under your seat. It's a brand new car.
Reach under the seat. It's a brand new OEM.
So, but seriously, I'm gonna try to share again. This is strictly for sharing. I was telling Diego the purpose of this show for me. Hopefully for Diego as well. I'd like to get him from behind the scenes here eventually, but whenever he's comfortable. And this is for us to document, show what we're doing, share what we're doing, so our kids will be able to look back and be like, that's what they did. So that's what we're here for. Add value, share, conversate. Hopefully poke the bear a little bit. I'd like to get somebody heated on here one time. That's gonna be my That's our
goal. Get somebody heated, have a meltdown.
I want to get somebody. I want to get some deep conversation. I want to get that. Everything you're telling the news at night, whatever channel you watch, whatever side you're on, political, real estate, NFT, crypto, private equity, I don't care. Let's talk about it, man. I want to learn, because here's the thing. Here's something I found out, and then we got to go. You can learn a lot through debate. You know what I mean? Like debating and why do the presidents debate? You know what I'm saying? Why do they have the debates? Is you can learn a lot that way. And so by me and you having a conversation or a debate, and you proving your point, me proving my point, me seeing it from your perspective, you seeing it from my perspective, two things could happen. One is you can learn something. Both parties can learn something. And two, both parties might actually figure out a way to work together for a similar or common goal. You know what I mean? We could use a little
stress test. It makes you have to either. Absolutely.
I just see a lot of people pointing fingers right now. He said, she said, this side, that side. But I don't see very many people actually trying to truly work together and figure it out.
Dialogue, communication. That's how it happens.
So anyway,
that's how we get along.
3 months from now, when this is the top 5 podcast, vlog, video, whatever, go back.
We're gonna be number one show that talks about deals in the United States.
Any kind of deal.
And then
what's your deal? Oh man, that could be our slogan. Like, what's your deal? It could be like, what is your deal? What is your deal? Like, what's your problem, man? Like, what, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, I like that. I like it.
So that was episode 1 of What's the Deal with Will. Everybody, we are so happy that you tuned in. Tune in next time. Make sure you register for the free downloadables, for all the free stuff. That way you can also get on the show. Make sure that you tune in. Share with all your friends. Anybody that you know that's going to have a heated debate with Will, bring him on, so we can have that debate on live. And if you have any kind of expertise or any kind of experience in any of these areas, make sure that you comment and let us know so we can have you engage as well.
All right. Thank you, guys. Diego, thank you for your time, sir. And we'll catch you guys next time.
Have a fantastic day, everybody. Bye-bye.